welcome to Eve, Tranquility, and Singularity. I'm going to go visit Losec Ice Belt in a porpoise with, it's a specialized porpoise just for ship scanning. I mean, survey scanning.
Drive active.
Don't need to look at local when I'm in Singularity, but yeah, best to be on my toes because this could be a quick trip. I'm pretty sure it's kind of slow today, so I think I'll get away with it.
Drive active.
All I want to do is compare the visual look and the actual numbers in the asteroids themselves in a low-sec ice belt, and we can extrapolate that for the high-sec. The high-sec belt right now looks really cartoony. It is kind of embarrassing how cartoony it looks. The ores have been pretty much, they look like juice monkeys on steroids, basically. Yeah. They kept the same displacement, same everything. They just, yeah, you'll see. It's pretty interesting. You know, if they had managed to not F this up by the numbers, like completely screw it up, signally failed in their duty to do decent work on Singularity, especially when they asked us twice to go in there and test it out for them. We're basically their free typos and bug checkers. That's it. They don't care about feedback other than that, obviously. Let's head to TJA. I recently scouted it out. It's the one without anything mined from it. And we'll go look it up. I'm sure there's at least one in here. Crap. Come on, Rar. Give me a nice belt. Yay. We'll go to Axe. Alright. Guarantee you there's not been any of it mined today. Alright. Here we go. It looks fairly intact. Fairly intact, right? So we'll go to Tactical. We will cozy on up to this. Whoops. Close enough. Horseshoes and hand grenades. So it's 15 length. Guarantee you this is going to be the same. They all look the same. And it looks pristine, but as you can see, blurp. Oh my god. The hell? Right on the warping spot. Oh, that's hilarious. Whoa, son of a, you gotta be kidding me. No, they're not. Oh, wow. Whoa, okay. So, I'll try to piece together what this mess looks like. So what we've got is they've rearranged. Is it even close to what it? Like, I'm assuming they just enlarged the roids because that's what it looks like they've done on Tranquil. Like, if you go to HiSec and look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Glare crust. I think I'll cloak up. That would be a good spot. Good idea. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 6 icicles, and they glare crust, and they're arranged like that-ish. I know how this is set up. It's Give me a second here. It is fairly simple. What you've got is, let's turn on our burst. That'll increase this range. Do that. Okay, so we've got glare crust, right? And we've got clear icicle, right? And it's arranged the same way every time. We all know this, but yeah. It's a good spot to look at it from. Probably there. All right. Keep an eye on local because this is tranquility. It's hard. It's dangerous when you go playing on singularity and you come back to tranquility. It's quite surreal. Okay, so 50, 75. There's 1, 2, 3. Kind of the same distribution as you can see. The proportion. When I first looked at the high-sec one, it looked like they just juiced up everything, especially the ones with larger contacts. It looks like they'd made those the biggest. I'll go show you it on the... Well, you'll see it soon enough. But yeah, it looks like they've kind of kept this, like, there's 1, 2, like those two right there. Those are big, and it looks when they'd enlarged it, they also pushed it out in displacement. So I'm assuming that we're 53 from that one, and we'll be 53 from the other one, right? So we are... Where's that one? Where is our 3? There it is. Okay, so we are, yeah, there you go. So what's happened is they've taken anything that's large and just increased its size to be proportionate to, you know, that's what it usually looks like, right? But now it's exaggerated. And when it's enlarged, it just pushes out this way. So the large ones have been pushed out. And it's also funny that we've got this one's right smack on the warp in. That's hilarious. And of course it spins, of course. So as you can see, where's the warp in? The hell? Give me a sec here. What? The hell? There it is. God. Yeah, Jesus, it's got it eclipsed. It's so funny, isn't it? It's massive, right? They've just increased it so... Jesus. Bunch of idiots. It's like Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Alright. Make sure we cloak up again. That would be nice. Alright, so 52 kilometers. And I'm going to guess that that one's exactly 52 kilometers away once we get to our spot here. Yeah, 52. Okay, so what we've got is a bunch of yahoos that have turned this into a... It's just so comical. It's the same kind of disposition And amounts, they just increased it by twice, right? We will do quantity. Okay, we'll do quantity and quantity. Okay, so 79, so 80, so from 40 to 80, so basically, let's try to match it. Down there, down here, give me a sec here. Is that going to be good enough? Almost. Almost. Our crust is right there. Use my fingers here. Come on, baby. Right there. Did I get it? Okay, close enough. Yep. So they doubled it. But I can guarantee you, let's try to replicate this here now. So you're 54. And go. Okay, 50. Let's get the same proportions going on here. 50. All right. Get that right. 50 is right there. 50 is right. Wow, okay. So give me a sec. Let's jigger around with this for a sec. Make it make sense. Okay, so that is pretty much what we're looking at in proportion here. So it's like exploded in size. Let's check out if this, I'm sure the size will be proper. Let's bring up that size. Mining. Okay, so the biggest is 17 clicks, and it's right here. Right here as well. So the biggest is right there, 14 clicks away, and you are that one. And the I know, right? It's just like, Jesus Christ. You are 14 clicks away. Lock target, you're that one. So 337. So we are looking for no. That one maybe? Yes. That one. So that one is, and I'll lock it up. Oops. Uncloak. So that one is that one, right? And you are size. Butchering my overview right now for science. So you are 6 clicks. the largest is this one. So they have tripled the size of the roids. There you are, folks. You heard it here first. Wow. Wow. That's pretty cuckoo. All right. All right, I'll take you and show you the. Uh-oh, I'm gonna bounce. Yeah, I'm gonna bounce. Give me a sec. Let's get the hell out of Dodge here, huh? Let's see if I can make it home alive.
Warp drive active.
God, that's hilarious. Oh, I might. Oh, too late now. I want to turn on my shield booster. Now that I've jumped into a clone that I can actually turn it on.
Warp drive active.
What's my take on the whole thing? Well, it's like they're throwing crap against the wall to see what sticks. This is my impression. Will it affect the way I mine? Yeah. Well, I wasn't actually mining currently, to be honest. Do I care about it? Yeah. They've done a whole bunch of things that don't make sense in an immersion sense. So in that sense, I don't like it. It's very unimmersive what they've done.
Warp drive active.
It feels very half-assed, like they wanted to do something, but they're afraid of something else, so they pretty much hamstrung the compression just to make sure it wasn't making something else like the Orca overpowered. And they screwed up the implementation on Singularity, giving everybody the impression, the false impression, that the drones have been nerfed completely for mining, which they didn't, which I think they should, but it's just the whiners are going to be happy because CCP changed their mind, but CCPs are going to be like, we didn't do anything. They're going to spend all this time coding out the typos, the mistakes, the miscoding, the screw-ups on Singularity, and they won't have any time to really, not like they listen to feedback. I mean, all the feedback about the scale plans was about, can we collapse the categories, please? And could you revert the sorting to the old way? So it would alphabetically left to right and down the column, so we don't have to guess where we have to scroll to, it's just, and they haven't listened to that, so what makes you think they're going to listen to anything but, you're our free typo fixers. That's it.
Warp drive active.
Hey, thank you very much. We listened to your feedback about, our typos, our missing code, to make us not look like complete idiots. Thank you so much, free Q&A people. And that's it. Is it gonna change my gameplay? Well, I like fobs, so they totally nerfed it during the event, and now we have ghost sites, 3 ghost sites in my area of fobs that are just not there, but detectable in the agency. Very unimmersive, but like they care, right? their idea of immersive is you shutting up and sitting down and watching their entire air cutscene. Yeah. Am I going to mine again? Well, I wanted to go to low-sec and mine low-sec ice, but with the cluster F that's with the deployment on Singularity, I can't test if my my endurance ice mining is going to work anymore. Half the bonuses are working by being removed, and half of them aren't by the ship bonuses aren't being added. Yeah, the same kind of BS with the Orca mining drones. The siege bonus won't be shown until you launch the drones and then right click with an active industrial core going active, you know. So yeah, kind of frustrating. Unfortunately, there's not going to be an ice field in Bash. Just as I jump in, it would be nice, but I do know on Singularity I'll be able to show you, and you've all seen the ice fields in on Tranquility, to know what I'm showing you on Singularity. Yeah, I'd love to test stuff out. It's just half the stuff is not being displayed properly, and half the stuff is just plain not working. The compression stuff for ice isn't working. I could try it for ore. I'd like to try it for ice to see if I can keep up with my output, but my output's not working at all because the ship bonuses aren't being acknowledged. It's just the typos in the article, like we're doubling the ice field again, and you're like, what? No, I think they're just spin doctoring the fact that they added another. Remember they were talking about doubling, but all they did was just add the default spawn to that kind of spin doctoring. It was like, we doubled it. It's like, no, you're talking about the ice amounts in it. You didn't double those. They're like 200%. It's like that. Why you? It's just so insulting. It's like they're like, what do they do with the money we give them? Take cocaine all the time? Exactly, right? Ugh. So annoying. Oh, right. This is Singularity, not Tranquility. Yeah. Oh, hardly anybody here, so yeah. I am not going to look out. I don't really care. All I want to show you is the really interesting graphics going on here. So let's go to tactical. I believe it's, which way is it orientated? I think it's this way. I forget, it's been so long. Did I guess right? Ooh, close in a cigar. That away.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Yeah. This is what the new belts will look like. So the biggest volume one is, where is it? It should be, well, that one's, I'm used to this one being absolutely gigantic, right? So we'll lock target. Which one is it? Yeah, the third biggest one. Okay, third biggest one is over here. It's big. Like I said, three times this size. Yeah, not as big as the ones in low sec. It's pretty freaking big. So yeah, it's 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 really cartoonish. I'm sure we'll get used to it, but wow. Yeah. Oh boy. What I'd really like to test is the crystals for wastage, the Type C, the griefing module. Yeah, weirding module. Let's call it the weirding module. So it's like burnt earth, you know. It doesn't give you any decent output, but it has high wastage, very high wastage, and I want to see how much wastage is there. Is it double the amount that you could usually mine by stealing, right? Is it 10 times? I'm thinking if you're in and out of there quick and you want to destroy a belt, you would go in with the crystals and destroy the belt quickly and get the hell out. Otherwise, just steal the ore and dump it in the hostile fob's cargo deposit and just warp back and do it again. You know? Yeah, it's just my expectations are really low, as I'm sure it's going to be completely useless compared to, it's like, ooh, 15% more faster wastage or destruction or stealing or whatever, you know, the amount you're disabling the owner of the field from getting is probably like 15% more when you're doing this high wastage thing. I'm sure. It'll be like, why don't I just steal the ice and dump it in the hostiles cargo deposit? It just, yeah, can't make it OP. It's like, okay, alrighty. Yeah, it's all their changes are incremental. It's not when you strip away the bullshit. Well, the bullshit deployment. All of it's incremental. It's not, oh, okay, if you do it smart, you're mining 15% more, you know, maximum 25%, or you're getting nerfed by a maximum of 25%, maybe 33% if you're unlucky. It's just all this. You're like, so basically what it boils down to is I don't like it because it's going to make us say, okay, look, you can't join a mining team unless you have tech to blah. So it's not going to be all inclusive. Yeah, bring whatever, you know, you're good, noob, whatever. No, it's going to be like, no, you're going to have to use this module in order to not, you know, harm the team, which is okay. I'm sure it's not that difficult to get tech 2 stuff as a miner. I think, but we'll no longer be able to use Tech 1 strip miners for convenience. You know, we're going to have to use modulated. It's annoying. And they're getting rid of 2 mid slots for the skip and procure, which means we don't have a lot of PvP options in low sec, which kind of sucks. I like the procure for that. You can mount a couple of really decent disruptors. You could, you know, it's just like, why are you taking away options? You know, and the endurance is removing its velocity bonus for the cloak, and it's being given to the prospect, which has a covert ops, which doesn't need the velocity. So why would you put a non-covert ops on a, you know? It's like, why are you doing that? It just seems very, everything seems really bizarre, and it doesn't seem well thought out, especially because of the crappy deployment on Singularity and the typos and the crap on the article and probably the spreadsheet too. But it kind of seems like they just half-assed it, not only in deployment, but coming up with stuff after 2 years of austerity and then calling it the Age of Prosperity. So it's like, okay, it's not really the Age of Prosperity. You're not really giving us much here. So I wouldn't call it prosperity. I'd call it changing as much as you can while being lazy at the same time. And expecting us to do the heavy lifting of, oh, hey, you forgot that, or you made a typo there. So, not impressed, because it's not dramatic, and it's not prosperous, and it's just half-assed, and you're expecting us to fix it after 2 years, and it's like, this is typical. And I expected it going in, and that's why I caught, say, the Orca problem, that you have to launch your drones, then look at their info after you have the, while you have the industrial core online and active. It just seemed. Look, if let me put it this way, I'm trying to be polite. If you haven't figured it out, it's because you made a strategic mistake by not allowing your intuition to go, oh, the info didn't change when I was clicking on the non-launched version of the miners, and then clicking, and it was like, wait, that looks pretty nerfed. Let's launch it. It's just a strategic mistake. And I don't have any sympathy for anybody who is up in arms about how the drones have been nerfed completely, because it's going to drown out all the other reasonable arguments and just be that one salient Care Bear scream of, you've removed drone bonuses entirely, which I kind of wish they had, But it's like, you go on Singularity, you look at it, you try it out, you don't trust anything, you try to do as much as you can to eliminate the bullshit. And that's the way to deal with CCP. And if you don't, you're just not doing it right. So yeah, it's just like the whiny Care Bears are going to think they won because the drones aren't nerfed, but it was just bad implementation and lazy testing by the players. And they're not forthright about it. The CCP are being they didn't come out and say, look, we know about the drone thing, sorry, it's okay. They didn't. They were like, oh, I like that too. And it's like, the guy that, the CSM guy was, oh, thank you so much for staying up 2 a.m. And it's like, he just got drunk and said bullshit stuff. It's like, that didn't help. Yeah. Everything's great. It's like, no, it's shit. And you're confusing people, and that's going to help you get out of this easily by confusing people and making them overreact, and then they look like idiots in your eyes, but your job wasn't to make them look like idiots, so your job is easier in doing bullshit changes, and it is a bullshit change. It just looks so comical and stupid. It really does. Yeah, it's it's just so you got to realize that. Here's the thing. You might be like, oh, what's the big deal? It's like, no, it's like these things are massive now, and they take up so much space in the field. Like, the field didn't increase in size, it just got really crowded, and you don't realize that these things turn. So you could be literally swept up by these things in your ships if you get too close. Like, there's not a lot of leeway between these two. It's just, yeah. This is all kinds of stupid. I'd just been watching YouTubes about the 2 writers for Game of Thrones, the Cocaine Brothers. And yeah, it just reminds me of, how CCP is, just dumber and dumber. And it's like, well, all right, yeah, okay. So that just happened, and yeah, let's move on. Yeah, I don't. There's just so much crap thrown against the wall that it's hard to give a good read on this stuff. But you can't bump orcas anymore with the industrial core on. They're vulnerable to ganking, which is great because it's going to make them way easier to gank now. And they don't know how to fit properly, anyways. It just looks so comical, really. It does, doesn't it? Even a noob who comes into this be like, did they ever think of spreading this stuff out? You know, it's like, it, yeah. It's interesting. Now, on the bright side, it does make everything look non cookie cutter now because everything's so big and they all rotate that they're so close together that every field's going to look a bit different all the time because now it's so distorted, you know? So that's a silver lining, but it's not gonna. Woo. Wow. Yeah, the you can't test the icicle stuff, but you can test the placeholders for the ice aren't showing up. You can currently compress. This is how effed up it is, and I've already talked about this. But yeah, the you can't put compressed gas in the gas hold. That's a foobar right there. You can compress a moon ore at upwells currently, which they said they in the article you can't, but I'm sure they'll spin that or just remove it or delete it or just move on and not care, or who reads those anyways, right? There's just so many things screwed up on Singularity right now that their desire that we go onto there has to be simply, and they stressed it twice in that article. It's just simply, free bug checking and free typo checking and all that stuff, without actually paying anybody to do it, which they really need to pay somebody to do before they release this kind of crap. But it's their intent, I mean, release something like this, buggy, full of crap, and then spend all your time fixing it and then act like you listened to the feedback. But of course you didn't. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna head over to Hizhara and I don't know, test something. I want to play another game. This is boring. It really is. It's like, oh right, let's check out. Let's go to Hizhara and check out the regular asteroids. That's what I want to do. Right. Because I was like, if the Bashakru ice looks comical, wonder what some of the distorted ice fields look like. I mean, asteroid belts look like. I mean, there's some really screwed up belts for rocks in an asteroid belt, I wonder how bad they look now. Like how? Like if it's 3 times the size? Yeah, right? So, yeah. 3 times the size. That's crazy.
Warp drive active.
I should have jumped in my other ship. I'll just buy another one. Oops. I left it in space. Lol. Give me a second. Easy enough to do it here. I really like the sound. I haven't decided whether I wanted it 50, 25, or 10. I'm liking 25 right now for the sound effects. Ship ambience. Alright. Let's go check these puppies out. Oop, Aurora. No, no, no. Hizhara. Aurora's way too big.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Yeah, so, and why do they cripple a newbie's ability to mine gas? It just, by 1/3 the amount they can output now. Right, it was abyssal, but who cares?
Docking permission requested.
Yeah, it's like the game hasn't been, like, they didn't take the game and ruin it, so to speak, according to the Care Bears whining about their drone things being completely nerfed, which isn't a ruinous thing at all. I hate Orca solo mining with a passion. It's just so ridiculous. It's like, we know you're AFK doing other stuff and not playing the game. You know? We know it. It's like, oh, we're in nullsec doing stuff. And it's, no, you're not. You got 6 accounts. You're all mining solo and in the same belt. And you're doing nothing else. And you're actually not even at keys. So shut up. You know? It's like...
Warp drive active.
You're not playing the game. Alright. Yeah, and I think that's what pushed a lot of people to start complaining, because there was like, we like Orca mining. It's like, okay then. Not actually what I'm complaining about, but fill your boots. I'm complaining about the crappy release of it, and that they're obviously not going to be listening to any of our input at all. Just like they didn't for the skill plans. It's obvious. Let's get this show on the road here. Alley-oop. So not exactly the one I wanted to see. Let's keep going until we find... I know there's one in Hizhara that looks really distorted, like a huge belt spar, right? So we'll just chill here, the ship, until I get that. Let's see, they've jiggered about with the mining barges and the exhumers and the expedition frigates and the Venture, but not in good ways, not in fun ways. They've added two extra holds, one of which doesn't show up on the info panel for the, they've added a cool thing for inventory button here, and they've got a remember your saved history for doing simulations. That's cool. You know, this is not simulator, it's actual your cargo. But yeah, you do simulate, and you've got a simulation history, and you save state as you go along. It's pretty cool, and you can revert. It's really neat. But yeah, they've done so many things that it's hard to say they've ruined the game, but they've certainly shown their cavalier attitude towards the game, and it's just depressing how they treat us. It's they don't treat us like customers, they treat us like guinea pigs that they're angry at all the time, and it's like, wow. All right, this is a good one. Let's go see 9-1. Let's go check out 9-1. Alright. 9-1. Off we go.
Warp drive active.
Which direction am I facing? Let's face that away. North and have 100 there. And see 40 there. There, and we want to see 40 there. Perfect. Alright. Size. Got that. Let's turn on that, fire up that. Oh my god. Lol. It's actually quite interesting. Or 9-1, right? So, here's the thing. It's freaking hilarious. Jesus Christ. So how come that is there? How come they're all 33 kilometers in size but look different, right? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, let's fire this up. All right. Let's try to make sense of this, right? Okay. Appraisal. There you go. Yeah, 105 million. Now, we are assuming that nobody's mined this, which they probably have. And it probably has to regenerate, and that takes 3 days exactly to, sometimes 4, depending. But 15, 14, and it'll come back in the same exact place, the same portion. So let's cross our fingers and just assume. So that's 105 versus. So yeah. So this one has been mined, hopefully, and this has the true values, hopefully. So yeah, twice the amount, twice the value. And of course, now you have waste. But it looks a lot different, you know? Am I even... Wait. Wrong. I'm an idiot. There we go. Okay, so 26 kilometers. And that is the... concentrated feldspar up here. That one. So it's got the most quantity, 124.6. Let's lock that target. Did I? What? Oh, it's probably too far away to lock. Well, so that's the biggest one, and that is probably around where it should have been when looking here. Okay. $124, so that's going to be 249, 249, 2. There we go. Double, exactly. So this belt hasn't been reset, it's just been increased in size and distorted, which is probably how we're not seeing it a new mechanic. It's not like they hit the reset on how the belt looks. They're just going to distort it for now. When the asteroids reappear, these will be appearing in these same spots now. Now that they have their base location set, it will appear right here. Like this one will appear right here instead of looking like this at first and then moving. They'll be fixed now. So we'll have to redo all our bookmarks if we have them for normal asteroids. But yeah, and did they do anything about, like they had it, the ships approaching the sun, right? Did they reorientate it towards the sun? I highly doubt that. 100%. It was just window dressing. You know, they wanted a pretty sun there because it was bright. Okay, bud. Way to go. Yeah, 15, 14. And it's always the same type, the same numbers, same volume. It'll always be once it regenerates. And I've done this for all the systems nearby on Singularity years ago. It feels like years ago. It was probably less than. And that was done. I'll probably do it again this time around just to get a feel. And it's good to have documentation because things change. But yeah, some systems have the most dense feldspar. like Sakura does and Noctic 2, has great dense Veldspar, a lot more dense Veldspar than anything else. And when Veldspar was actually worth something, right? Well, I haven't even done my price checking, and I won't. It's just they've made a mockery out of the game by promising us the moon and then delivering us a half-eaten pizza. It's like with cigarette butts in it. It's like it's something that you'd expect out of a really shitty contractor that you ask to renovate your house. And they're acting like they're Homes on Homes. It's like not even close. It's that kind of attitude. It's like, this is a game. Why aren't you paying attention to our complaints about the skill plans? Why aren't you paying attention to the complaints about you nerfing the mining? You made it fun in High-Sec. I think a little bit too much fun, but you didn't replace it with anything intelligent. And like, say, for instance, the mining expedition frigates, they didn't allow, what is it? It's the interdiction. There's this module they added to the game that you can add to a interceptor and stuff to make yourself, I think it's propulsion upgrades. Where is it? Introduction nullifiers, right? Is that it? Yeah, high slot. But it cannot be fit to expedition frigates. It's like, duh? I know, right? So it's pretty sad. They probably heard. It's like, why didn't you? And then you think maybe they wanted to, but the CSM stacked with null blocks were probably like, we don't want prospects warping in on our guides and can't be stopped by bubbles. And GCP was like, okay, dear. And it's like, but you took a null block's whiny little, we don't want any risk, to epic proportions by removing gameplay for an entire mining industry that could have gone sneaking into nullsec. Why aren't you allow actual miners to go and actually mine when you've just given the null blocks what they wanted? I suspect the way the nerfs, the half-ass way it's been done, I think the CSM were consulted and did give their opinion and were listened to, but I think it was just, oh, by the way, can you not nerf the drone mining bonus for the industrial cores? Because I think CCP, the way it was set up and the way it was half-assed and the way they went about it, seems to indicate that they wanted to nerf which is great, drone mining completely from the industrial core, and just have drones just be drones and then not have any bonuses, and you whine about your excavators. How many billions did you take advantage of the game by having excavators? You don't have any right to go, I just invested in, I'm gonna quit the game. It's like, good, go away. It's like, you shouldn't have had excavators in the first place. Oracle shouldn't have been a mining platform solo, period. Neither should Orcas. But of course, I'm sure I can bet any money exactly what the CSM got. So yeah, this game is controlled by people who act like complete idiots, and just don't have any respect for the player base. They just, I don't like that, do it, and they kiss ass otherwise. They don't complain about it. They go, oh, that was a great idea about all this shit you're throwing out the wall. It's really awesome, man. What, Picasso? But could you not nerf the mining drones, please? We love you, CCP. You're great. That kind of bullshit. It's like, there's some serious stuff going on here. And no. Nah. Nope. Yeah, it's like we're going to go to the community and say, you're planning on releasing deliberately a half-assed system, knowing that we're going to give you free bug fixing and typo corrections and all that stuff for free, and you're externalizing your own costs onto the player base, you know, while going, hey, discount on skins. It's like, what? So yeah, that should be the CSM's attitude. It's like, look, you've got a half-assed system. We're going to tell the player base about this. You know, I mean, you can't prevent that. I mean, do they have NDAs to say we can't go to the player base and go, yeah, we're representing you and these guys are screwing you around? It's like, that should be a civil right to be able to complain about that stuff. You know, we're your customers. We're not your flunkies here. You know, but of course, they're ass-kissing toadies. That's what they are. So yeah, it's interesting what's going on. I'll document it for sure. But there are some seriously screwed up ways that just hamper your gameplay. You cannot do stuff that would make things interesting and give you as much edge as you could going in with non-combat ships into a hostile environment in order to have fun mining stuff you're not supposed to. Well, not supposed to because somebody owns it, but it's like, yeah. Anyways, it's interesting what they did. It reveals a lot about how the belt is set up the way it is, with those oversized Veldspar roids hanging out, kind of akimbo to the rest of the belt. It's interesting. You know, these spots are going to be now where they form up. You know, I'm sure there'll be smaller versions of them when they reappear, but they'll appear right exactly here, and they'll just grow back to their former size, probably. I might have done tests on that, but I can't remember off the top of my head what exactly happened. But yeah, that is interesting. It certainly sheds light on things that they probably don't want light shed on, you know? Yeah. But, yeah, fascinating stuff. Let's go to... let's go to Asteroid Belt 1 and check that one out. Because that was the first one I went to look at, right? So let's go check out that. So it looked pretty typical standard belt. Let's see how distorted it looks when the sizes are increased by 3. Seeing it 40. Do it for this one. 100. That should be about it. Okay. So, whoa. So completely distorted, which is interesting because it's a good way of, like, look at the silver lining, like I did with the ice belt. See this? It's definitely not aligned to the sun. It's not, doesn't look like it's circling anything except this stupid thing right here. It is, when I first started playing the game, it looks the stupidest thing. It's like, wait, I warped to a crescent in space with a center of gravity here, but there's nothing here. And why is it a crescent? And it's not even like approximately the planet or any gravitational field at all that I can see. It just looks dumb. Why was it a crescent? Did they have plans in the first place to do it? It just looked so stupid when I first played the game. So this is actually a lot better because it's like, it's distorted and it doesn't have, you know, it's the same arc, and you know the mechanics of it, but now it looks a lot better because it looks more natural, right? So, you know, I mean, you got to give props where props are deserved. They've improved the aesthetics of it by not making it look cookie cutter now. They have exploded the size of the roids, you know. Is it 3 times? I'm pretty sure it's 3 times, right? 33 kilometers as opposed to what? Oh my god. Whoa. Am I at the same? Two, one. It's bizarre, isn't it? I'm having a hard time computing this. So they, in the ice belt, it was 3 times the size. Here, it's... That has to be wrong. No, it's not. 3 kilometers, biggest. 10 times the size. Concentrated Velspar, that's the one. Distorted way over there. And we're looking down at 100 and there. So it's distorted, pushed all the way over there. And that's 100 and that's 40, right? So we're looking at this, and now we're looking at this. And it's definitely distorted the belt, but wow, 10 times the size. Holy crap. No, it's cool. I mean, aesthetically, it's neat. It's revealing of the dispersion pattern when you increase the size of the roids and how it looks. You know, it reveals stuff we guessed at, like I guessed at least, about how it worked in the first place, of how the belt starts to get distorted when you've got large roids appearing in the belt. Now it's just, you know, pretty obvious. It's going to make well, let's see, everything's in a 50 kilometer pretty much, right? How much is being pushed past? Like, you can get, typically that's, see, it's like this is all like now pushed way out. It's going to be more difficult to mine things, especially taking advantage of, say, large roids, because now they're going to be far apart from each other and difficult to get into a proper position. But it never was in the first place. I'm sure we could find a way to actually, you know, It's actually going to be quite impossible, actually. It's distorted in a globe around it. There's no real way to get decent range unless you've got, like, say, max harvesters, which I'm refusing to do, in a belt for Veldspar, So it's interesting. One wonders what, like, it's three times for the ice, right? 10 times for the normal belt asteroids. I wonder what they dialed it up for the moon ore. Like, how massive, like, how, if it's going to be dispersed like that, how distorted is the fracture going to look like once it stopped moving, right? And how wide is that field going to be now? What's the diameter of it going to be now? Could you imagine 10 times the size? And this is distorted out to, now it's the same, the moon fracture is a much more recent mechanic than this. This is the mechanic of dispersion that I expect for an asteroid belt, but this is not what's going to happen to the moon fracture. But it's going to be interesting if it's between 3 and 10 times the size, right? It's going to be distorted somehow, for sure. Yeah. I mean, just as, I'll bitch and bitch, but it's like, when there are things to discover and interesting things to look at, it, aesthetically, if I want to go and pretend to work in outer space, exploiting the resources of the universe, this is what I expect. Well, the compactness of an asteroid belt is never going to be this way in space, but it's nice to pretend. I have a fantasy world of close-in asteroids. But yeah, this is what I would want in a fantasy setting for sci-fi, if I was exploiting the resources of the solar system. This would be what I would envision as the coolest thing. Just like Star Wars, all those asteroids close together. So it is kind of cool. I do like it aesthetically. I'll definitely be checking out and making another video for how each belt looks, like I did before, but that'll be for a later time. Not today. Not this week for sure. I got lots of time. And they might change their idea too, so who knows, right? Somebody was testing, one of my friends was testing the compression of ore. You can do it. It's not a placeholder for the actual normal asteroid ore. And it looks like it could probably keep up with 4, maybe 5, maybe 6. It'll take 1 compression unit per 2 miners to keep up with that. So if you had 6 miners, you'd need 3 compressors in the high slots. And you can double up, you can triple up, no worries. Takes about a minute to go through the compression thing. I think if you have optimization, it's quicker. But it's like you feed it into the high slot like an ammo, and it does it over 60 seconds, and it barfs out compressed. It means more work and more micro to compress it. You're getting the same volume though, so you could always, transfer it into a freighter and then dock it at an upwell and compress it that way. You'll take a loss, but we'll adjust to the loss in the wastage, right? we're getting more, and we're getting more double in the asteroid. So it's not going to be we're getting on an absolute scale nerfed. And to me, it doesn't feel like I'll be personally getting nerfed when I mine. I'm getting screwed over for the endurance in low sec, and the miasmos in particular for ice hauling. But I have yet to be able to test anything like that. So that's something I'd like to test, but I can't because it's half-assed. Yeah, it's really it's just a waiting game now of testing what we can, and avoiding testing stuff we know still needs to be fixed as missing bonuses and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I really want to test the drainage of that Type 3 crystal. That's a big one. That'll be important. But yeah, not today. I think I'm going to take a break for a bit. I'm playing Elite Dangerous right now. I'm trying to make it have Newtonian physics, and that would be fun. I play with a mouse, but I played Jump Gate in 2000, 2003, and that had Newtonian physics, and that was fun. So I'm really looking forward to that now that I know I can do it. Well, I mean, somebody's claimed it's going to happen that way, so hopefully that'd be great. Hmm. See, the way I look at it, they threw so much crap against the wall. Some good's gonna come out of it, in spite of what they did. You know, the law of unintended consequences states that they threw that much crap against the wall to see what sticks. Something good is going to come out of it that they won't know about, and hopefully they'll never know about, because they have a tendency to nerf things they think, I didn't intend that. So, yeah, this is really cool. And if they intended it to make it more aesthetic, then kudos to them. Yeah, credit where credit is due, right? But yeah, definitely a lot of beats for being dumbasses, treating us like they're free tech support Q&A, right?